Good morning. Good morning, family. How are you? It's actually Monday. I felt such a nudge to tap in and check in with you guys and say happy Monday. Mars going into Capricorn. How are you feeling about it? I look, I feel like I need it. I feel like we need it. Oh goodness. Sorry, I was just scrolling down through some of these notes on Mars and Mars aspecting, but honestly, that's going to be rushing us into January, and I just feel like we don't need to be doing that. I feel like we are still thick in the waters. But you know what? I do love the shift with Neptune going direct, but yeah, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How was your weekend? I felt like yet again we're in this weekend where we have it's like this, it's not a push pull. It's almost like a, I don't know, what am I seeing? I'm seeing like a muscle contract to like push something. So, metaphorically, it feels like, I know it's like, oh my gosh, we're going to talk about letting go and release again. But like we will, and it's going to continually come through as a frequency of energy. Excuse me, getting a sip of water there. It's just the working through it. And, while we're tapping straight in, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of my soul family. I'll always encourage you, and it's not for like monetization or because I'm trying to sell you anything, child. Love and light, you know what I mean? People out there, do what you do. But, where's my, hold on, guys. Hold on. Where did I put my, we need to smudge. One moment. Ooh, I did not put my evil eye back on either, friend. Chada, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Molly. Sorry. She loves to lay close to the chair, and I tell her, like, friend. Look, y'all know we got a I also have one that I've been wearing. It's a Hecate sigil. I really want to get her tatted. Hold on. Y'all, it has one of those slide things on the bracelet. You know what I'm talking about? Slide to the left. Oh, you know what I'm hearing? What is that? To the left, to the left. Everything you want in a box to the left. Dun, 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 dun. You keep talking that's fine. Could you walk and talk at the same time? Ooh. Hey, that now look, that's some let go. If I ever done heard some let go energy. Keep talking that mess, that's fine. But could you walk and talk at the same time? Talk about let go. I don't know why. Yes, Palo Santi, she thick. Ooh. Get it. Y'all, it's cold today here too, but I love it. I love when we get cold snaps. I wish in the winter we got more of them. I really do. I really do. People are like, careful what you wish for. And hear me out. You're probably right, but I would still wish for it. I don't know, love and light. Maybe someone's leaving a relationship behind, packing bags, whatever. It could be metaphorical or literal, but I'm hearing that song just like on a clear loop now. Could you walk and talk at the same time? Okay, maybe someone's traveling. Love and light to you. I'm just going to be straight up, though, and tell you, you're like, I don't even know if I asked, but here we are, because you're here. But, excuse me, guys, sorry, Palo Santo was kind of thick in my face, but hey, we need it. Do you ever do that, like you're smudging and you just, oh, is the demon me? No, I'm just kidding, but Palo Santo, I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, you guys already know if you're here. It's like we sit in and then spirits just choom, choom, choom. such as it is with a energetic frequency, this last week, you guys, all this Sag energy, Sagging, as they do. I love my Sagittarius frequency though, but could you walk and talk at the same time? Now I'm seeing someone in an airport. I don't know. Love and light to you if you're traveling. It does make me feel better that Mercury is in Sag now, so you're kind of supported. Venus and Sag too. Just be easy on your credit card, child. But listen, how are you doing? If you are traveling, I wish you safe travels for the holidays. Perhaps you are astral traveling. But I'm not surprised to hear to the left, everything you want. And maybe someone's cleaning out rooms. That's a great frequency. It is still great, mind you, to return and remind ourselves, especially with Mars in Capricorn. Ain't nothing like a little, well, what we gonna do today is roll up our sleeves, you know. And I know, may we be in the boat still ever at that Neptune 29 degree aneretic point, right? And we are still doing that work. You're right that we absolutely are. But it's good too sometimes, and I'm not saying me personally, if you were asking your local Aquarius astrologer, I mean, would I be sitting down and making a bunch of action plans right now? We always talk about when we come out of the, I mean, it's almost kind of like an extended shadow work season. It really is. But we're, I don't know, it feels like we're going over a different bridge. And I know I say that, and you know how I see the Sagittarius frequency as a bridge. But you know how sometimes, like, yes, I know that I'm cleansing and clearing. Yes, child, I'm going to get in that spiritual bath and I'm going to wash my hair one more time again. But it's like that energy of, it's like, what am I saying? My little squishy reindeer back here. Can we just appreciate, like, it's so satisfying, y'all. What am I saying? Like, you know, sometimes when you are in these thick, deep, intense places, although you know you're doing the work, things are still like clearing out. And as I've said before, guys, we are going to kind of go over that arc of passing through. It's kind of the doorway of the winter solstice. I really do feel it to be that. And that will be, for me, I feel it's going to be like a notable shift. Just like the end of Aquarius season will be. But sometimes it's still good to like have like an action plan list for the day. You know what I mean? Sometimes we still need that. And then on the flip side too, I know we've had those days where it's like there's no action plan today. I'm just loving on myself and I'm going slow. But sometimes even if your action plan is like, today the plan is maybe, like I said, I don't know, it's like packing stuff in a box to the left. Maybe you're cleaning out a closet, or maybe that's metaphorical because, child, this is the time of, hey, look, wherever we're going next, whether you're utilizing these frequencies and maybe you're like, I do feel the vision coming through a lot more clear. And maybe you're just, vision work is great. What I was going to say is when we get out past Samhain and we kind of honor the quietness that extends into November, when we get more into this closer point of this winter solstice peak of something, if you will, right? We do visioning. It's great when you observe the wheel of the year and the natural flow, and you're syncing not so much maybe with the Gregorian calendar, but like that natural calendar of Gaia. Whether you associate with, you know, certain celebrations, or it doesn't matter like what you call yourself, so to speak. It's just a natural flow of the earth, isn't it? Where we see vision. You know what I mean? This is like vision working, automatic writing, tapping in with spirit. Maybe it's career goals. Maybe, child, I don't know. All this to the left, everything I own in a box to the left. Maybe you're packing. Maybe you're moving. Whatever it looks like on your path. You can actually do both. You know, we love to say that over here, because it's a dance in this incarnation of the human experience in our earth school, isn't it? To be always seeking balance and harmony. So at the same time, you may still be doing deep work. You still have these pockets. For me, and please honor yourself. We are in the age that you are your own guru. You're your highest and best teacher and messenger. Follow your intuition, right? But for me, it's becoming more like it's I don't know, I'm seeing something bleed out. The bathtub. Yep, the bathtub is draining out. You know how I can't make a drain sound? The drain is going out. Is tipping over right there, right at that point. And it's, you can still be there, and maybe you are still in the thick of something, love and light. Maybe you are more like, I'm just clearing out and feeling through the last pockets of the intensity of it. And that could be the case as well. Wherever you find yourself, maybe you are making action lists. If you are still feeling the need to cleanse out a room, sort and organize, I feel that in a Virgo year, in a 9 year, because you're in preparation, right? To go into next year, numerologically to the 10, the zodiac, we will be going into the year of the horse after the Lunar New Year. It's still great to be doing those things. And in fact, sometimes, maybe if all you can muster up is like, damn, I said that I was going to organize my desk. Well, you can do that, you know? So I don't know. I am seeing boxes. I am seeing movement. I am seeing travel. I am seeing like cleaning and clearing still, whether that's literally or metaphorically. I love all that for us and for you. And then getting back to, I just always encourage you, if you resonate with the message, click like, click subscribe. When you like and subscribe, it literally just lets us frequentially align together. We energetically speak to each other and say that we resonate with one another. And then as the messages evolve and we teach and we learn and we go through the flow of energy together, we can just be in better sync, you know? So always do that if you feel called. But yeah, Mars and Capricorn energy, I feel a shift. Granted, just a couple days ago it was that Mercury went into Sag, right? And it's like we felt this, well, it's like a truth of a motivation behind things, of seeing things in a different way, perhaps maybe having a little bit of ego checks and getting higher above a sense of something. And then, you know, to have here today, us seeing the shift of Mars going into Capricorn, it's like, you know what? I see the vision of what it is that I need to do. And you kind of, it's like you get a clarity on your direction. And when you have that clarity locked into that alignment with the work that you've been doing, and these, you know, I always encourage people, when you do the tough work that comes with, first of all, you got to feel all those emotions to then wash your hair, to then release, to then, even as we work closer to the new moon coming in Sag on the 19th, we'll be maybe perhaps doing banishing. If you flow with those lunar cycles, we'll get closer to the dark moon together. We'll be banishing energy. What was it just the other day? It was like a full on day for me. It was just all the wind. I've been kind of catching up on those. Have you? I just needed quiet. I had like instrumental, whatever, vibrational frequency, whatever things going on in the background. I was just cleaning, doing my spiritual maintenance, doing my floor washes. Hey, I did. Did you do some things? Because remember I kept talking about the wards on my doors. I did all these things, every single room, all the mirror locks, all the good things, opening the windows. Do you ever feel that sometimes you do that, and then you do have pockets of, whether it's grief or whether it's mourning, you know that that thing is done now. You know that your perspective has shifted now. You know that that old version of you is dying, and there's so many ways that we could be feeling that. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm saying too, just talking about the beautiful Sagittarius frequency, Mars entering Capricorn, wrapping up a Virgo year that has had us focusing on 6th house, that has had us focusing on a lot of that detox, purification, hopefully being in service not only to others but yourself, your homes, the hermiting mode, all that. We're still in finality of all of those experiences this year. So if you feel led, this is actually a great, let's look at the calendar. Yeah, so by Friday, we'll be on that new moon in Sagittarius. It's a great intention setting new moon, as any is, but on the heels and the backs of everything that we've went through. If you choose to, for me, I know I feel like it would be more of a vision working type of new moon, because I just don't want us to lose wrapping up. And I don't say this in a Gregorian calendar kind of way, right? I say this more of like flowing with the wheel of the year. We really would still be closing up the energy, even going into Capricorn season, even going into Aquarius, and then the finality of it all in Pisces season. I don't want us to lose the power that all the water in these charts have for us still. But it is really like a beautiful frequency. Like I said, working towards the end of this week to Friday is like, if you got to keep it simple, keep it simple. But, you know, banishing, cord cutting, spiritual cleansing, sound, frequency, smudge, meditative, maybe perhaps prayer, whatever it is that works for you. Those are great things to focus on this week. Mars and Capricorn, again, will lend to that, hey, Spirit, can you hit me with a little bit of resilience here? You know what I mean? But she persisted, okay? Like, I feel like Mars and Capricorn is going to bring some of that through for us. And then, yeah, we're just basically going to work through this week. We're going to have a beautiful new moon in Sagittarius. I want to say there's going to be some squaring energies going on between Saturn and Neptune, and I think there's a lot of awareness that we'll be grasping there. So, and then before we know it, won't it be, boom, it'll be the winter solstice, which I think is going to be a really big one for us. How have you been doing on your 12th night? The 12 nights we're working up to the winter solstice. I know today for me, I had scheduled like a spiritual bath. I picked a guided meditation. You know, I love Steve Noble. I love JJ activations. I love sound frequencies. And when you do all of that energetic work in the beautiful, all-powerful, in the cosmos, on the earth, through the ethers, when you connect that with water, it's crazy. Even if you're like, oh, well, I don't have a bath, you can do a foot bath, or you can charge a bowl of water and then use that to do your floor washes, or to do, what was it? Why Spirit is bringing me a memory one time that I was in a part of this thing where what she was teaching was you bless the water and like you dip your hands and then you're putting your hands on different points. However you make the water work, I'm just saying if you partner with the water in this week and all of that spiritual hygiene work and things of that nature, it'll be a great amplification of those intentions that you're setting. So I'm just popping in to check on you guys this Monday. I know me personally, I did, what do we want to shuffle? Let's shuffle. Oops, I'm sorry, you guys. Let's shuffle the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle, because she's really just been giving beautiful energy. Let's tap into the vibes. Yeah, I mean, that's Mars entering Capricorn, approaching the new moon. I just can't stress enough with all the Sagittarian frequency, especially with Mercury being in Sag again. Meditation, you know, writing, sitting with your higher chakras and connecting to your spirit team, your team and higher self. You with your higher self, right? To catch the vibes on like, what is the vision that's coming? What am I recommitting my responsibilities, my determinations, my endurance, my perseverance to? It's a great time for that type of focus right now. I know for me personally, like the energy has really just been a need for more quiet, slower and slower, and Spirit is saying, and slower still. Oh, you know what I was going to tell you guys about? I had this crazy dream. And sometimes if I feel led to bring it up here, I know that Spirit's kind of giving me the green light because, child, when I tell you I be having some crazy dream space. You know, if you've been with me for a few years and you're part of my soul family, I had always really shamanic meditation journey work. I traveled a lot in this way, very intentionally, but like I want to say beginning in 2023, I really wanted to work more astrally and in my dreams because I'd never really set that intention before. So since then, and learning these new techniques, and we are in all of this water and our guiding north node, and so through a lot of this frequency this year has been Pisces. So with that south node in Virgo, reminding us that there's a lot of ways that we are always doing things and maybe we need to let that go. Perhaps some of you I feel called to share because, let me type this so I don't forget, because I hear things in dream time and I make notes about them. But I don't even know how to like impress upon you when I set the intention to do the work in the astrals and to be more lucid and dreaming and to connect with my higher self and my spirit team and such, always in service of the highest and best good. We always clarify that over here. So, okay, so Spirit just want me to explain. I know I've explained it before, but I'll take a minute and hold on, you guys. I always be like, I forgot to turn this thing off. Let me see. Okay. I always got to make sure it's not my... Anyway. So the intention that I set, and feel free, again, maybe, we're a family. So if I am sharing this with you, maybe someone is working on this, but, I initially set the intention. Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I can't do the whole, I'm going to fall asleep and try to set all these intentions as look, your girl be tired. I have lots of things going on through the day. And I just don't, it's never worked for me. I fall asleep and I just struggle there. So what had worked for me, because someone else taught me this method, is I would set an alarm earlier than I intended to wake up. I have my phone close by. I like to turn it off, but I will have my phone and, cause look, I can't be waking up straight out of sleep and trying to, I can't do it. I did try and it's just like, what are we even writing? It didn't work. So I would set an alarm. I have like, some really nice headphones or earbuds if that's uncomfortable. I like the headphones cause the sound quality is better. And I would just kind of put one on my ear and slough the other off and then get comfy on my pillow. And I would say, let me hear what I need to hear. Let me see what I need to see. You can work out things. The simpler, the easier, the better. And then I would allow myself, the morning worked so good for me, you guys, because I would kind of doze. And it's in the in-between. I'm not in a deep REM state. Now, I do have dreams, and I write those down a lot, too. Child, listen. Maybe this is coming through as well, because you guys, we're going to be having enhanced... when we have all of this AI and a lot of different things we could sit and chit-chat about, your Pluto and Aquarius, Uranus and Gemini, back into Gemini next year, etc., when that stuff amplifies in the collective, so will our intuitive gifts. This is why Jupiter went ahead on into Gemini, and we talked about all those things during that transit, the telomeres, I was telling you, I was seeing like what looked like Tesla's coils, and they were above our heads. We went through all that together. That was in preparation for, because then Uranus is going to complete this Taurus work and then go into Gemini as well. And then, woo, child, buckle up, buttercup. With Pluto and Aquarius too, I'm just saying. But yeah, anyway, our intuitive gifts, our psychic gifts, our astral travel, we can make a whole list when we talk about the clairs, the intuitive gift. All these things are going to be amplified within our DNA, electromagnetics, the way we experience and feel and communicate with energy in our bodies, all of these things. So once again, I say, perhaps I'm sharing this for someone who's working in the dream space, a more transient, lucid space. Some people do this in meditation. You absolutely could. But for me, it was more about dream time. And so I would kind of say those intentions to myself and then doze back off. And then I noticed after some period of time, you got to be patient with this, okay? It's just like learning a new skill, going to the gym, changing your diet. taking new classes. What is it? 21 days to build a habit, etc., etc. You're rewiring the neural pathways in your brain and also connecting them to a different divine version of yourself, transient, other, maybe even multidimensional. You doing a big work. So I hear a lot of people say, well, I tried such and such. Okay, but did you try it for a week? Because when I'm telling you, this path took like a year to fully develop. But then after that, it was like, child, look, sometimes I'll have to tap out for a little while because I will get so much in this intentional space that I've built with my team and spirit and higher self that it's like, hold on, I need to write some of these things down. So back to it. I'll set a little like shamanic or I usually don't set anything in the background when I doze back off that has words because I'm not trying to like oopsies mentally program myself. Some people do that work, but that's a whole different thing. It's usually like a gamma, beta, theta, whatever frequency. It's sound waves, it's sound bowls, shamanic drumming, or whatever. Although I ain't even gonna lie, I had to tone down the shamanic drumming because sometimes those would get a little too intense. So in that space, that's been 2 years ago I started that journey. And it really took 6 months to a year to really tap in. So this is a space that I'm talking about. And the clairaudience is probably the biggest thing that developed. Although you guys know I share all kinds of visual downloads that I get. But I will really hear like whole phrases. It does come along with some things that are like dreams and very visual, but like sometimes it'll be a word or a sentence. And by the time that experience wraps and then my normal alarm goes off and I'm waking up, I have learned to kind of hone the intent. Okay, is it this word? Is it this sentence? And then I'll type it down. And then I put my phone down. I really don't like to be all up in my phone in my face in the morning. But anyway, I'll put it down and come back to it later. So that's kind of the process that I've developed. Take it as you will. I did feel called to just like reshare that whole process. So I'm going to tell you before we pull a card. The word... Now, let me tell you this too. So now that I've developed this new pathway in my mind, this is how I see it really. To tap into different, perhaps multidimensionalities, different spirit guides. Sometimes it's my higher self. Sometimes I just have an understanding that it's the universe. Whatever the case may be, I'll hear a word or a phrase. And so I woke up just hearing SuperConvergence. Remember how we've been talking about all the timeline convergence? So I was like, whoa. And I had, I had done my noting process, and I always am so curious to then, here's how I do it. I then go and trust my own self to research and tap into my intuition and put things together and learn, is this quantum? Is this science? Is this technology news? Is this medical news? Whatever the case may be. You guys know I'm in the medical studies. So all of it comes together in such an interesting way in this process for me. So I kept hearing SuperConvergence. And so I love to just, as if I've already done this a little bit because I was taking my own notes, but I thought I would share it with you guys that I was reading SuperConvergence. What was I seeing? I wrote more about it earlier this morning, you guys, but it was like a very different version of me. It's almost as if the way that I was seeing myself when I was hearing this at first when I was waking up was me. And I was like, it was like I was pulling wind into myself. Like, it reminded me of a visual representation of what it would look like if you were calling your power back or your energy back to you, like... And all of these like filaments and tendrils of light. I don't even know. It looked like they were like wiggling back and they were coming back to my body really, really quickly, wrapping all around me. And it was this whole, like this feeling of it almost sounded like someone was making a vacuum, but it was energy being pulled back, which then immediately makes me think of the hermit's lamp. It makes me think of the whole, we keep draining the bathtub we're talking about. Now there's something on the tip of my tongue that Molly McCord was talking about. Dang, but it left me. But it had this big feeling of like, it was just like, and I was out in this open field. It was very like meadow. It kind of reminded me almost like the sun card. But I was pulling it all back into me, and it was, I just wish you could have heard the sound, but it was light. It was crazy, you guys. It could be the convergence of, and it makes me think too about just completing this whole, whether some say 11-year cycle, some say 14-year cycle, but it's in reference to Neptune. And just, I was sitting here journaling just about when I first had my big awakening in like 2012. I was just, you ever do that in your countdown? You're like, oh shoot. And then you say, whoa, that makes sense. It almost felt like I was creating a vacuum. I was sucking all this light back into like all these timelines. And it kind of was a convergence, but it was happening within me. Which, as I say this out loud to you guys, it was like the amalgamation of the timelines was actually within me. Oh, this was this video, you guys, recently where Molly was talking about the way that we feel time different. Oh, yeah. And then she was referring to this movie. Y'all, what was that movie where the lady, was it Arrival? What was it called, you guys? It's a little bit older. And they met this species, and the lady was like a linguist, and it was her job to communicate, but they communicated through visuals. But she was realizing, she didn't know at the time, but then the realization that like they're not talking about time. They have a convergence at all times. They're not really in linear time. Whoa, okay. Yes, that was Molly McCord talking about that movie. But this is what it felt like. Y'all, now I'm hearing that. Didn't this come through in a different collective? This is what it feels like when the doves cry. Bump, 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 bump. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, y'all, now Spirit is directing me to a card, and it makes sense in this Marie White book. When the doves cry. Wow. Okay, so we are going to read this card. And it's come through in some personals, but it makes sense because it's the energy. It is. It's this amalgamation of really kind of understanding, perhaps after a long cycle of time. Maybe it's a Venusian cycle for you. Maybe it's a Saturn return cycle for you. Perhaps it could be the completion of the Neptune cycle. And when I say that, I don't mean 165 years, because love and light, we ain't, that's, hey, we're yet to see how human manifestation of longevity of life will ascend in the age of Aquarius. I think a lot of that is going to change dramatically. But what I mean is not 165 years. I mean Neptune being in Pisces. But also combined with Saturn completing these 29 and a half years. And it's like this whole whoa, 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 like... And now I'm seeing that movie and like, all these visions, they were communicating in these visual snippets. Kind of like I share these downloads with you, but it was like an amalgamation of all these different timelines, and they weren't connected to linear time. It makes me feel in my intuitive body like when you really look back, because you're not in it anymore, you're in that evolved scorpionic, an eagle's perch, you know, Pam Gregory, I adore her. She always says that, on your eagle's perch. You're seeing things and you're like, oh shit, oh, okay, dang. Perhaps even back into when we do that deep inner child healing and reclamation, as we have been doing with Black Moon, Lilith, and Scorpio. And we're going back and we're looking in that dark feminine energy, why all these things occurred. It's like this, it is an amalgamation of perspectives, but it's coming. It's all coming back to me now. I was doing, Mama T, are you out there? Shout out if you see this. My Mama T. I was doing a personal reading, Love and Light. I don't remember which one, but I was channeling that song. There were nights of endless pleasure, right? It was more than all your vows of love. Baby, baby. Okay, it's not karaoke night, but look, it's all coming back to me now. And you're like, oh, shoot, there's some sort of huge perspective shift. Wow. But to tell, I don't even know how to articulate differently when I think about the vision, when I kept hearing super convergence over and over again, like super, super, super convergence. That's how I hear these things in the wee morning hours, right? Oh my gosh, is this talking about neural networks? So anyway, look, I explained to you how I saw the visual, right? And it did feel like calling your power back, but it was so quantum and it was so big and it was so bright. It makes me think about all that Aries energy that we were in at that one point with the total solar eclipse. It's a coming back around. What is it saying here? Superconvergence primarily refers to a deep learning phenomenon where neural networks, oh shoot, y'all, can be trained at an order of magnitude that is faster than conventional methods. It is commonly associated with the one cycle learning rate policy, which allows for much higher maximum learning rates than typically. Okay, so learning, neural networks, deep learning phenomenon. Hello, superconvergence. Perhaps this is a national. So Spirit is giving something like this is an amalgamation point. It's very important to grasp this to really launch into these new timelines we keep speaking of that will unfold when Saturn and Neptune hop back into that Aries frequency. Okay, don't miss that is so big. What does it say here? Okay, we're just learning together, right? Deep learning. It says, proposed by Leslie Smith, superconvergence allows models to reach peak accuracy in significantly fewer iterations. This makes me think of how we keep talking about how souls are in incarnation now because we've been able to do this shift because of all the work that we've done. This is why I tell you the work that you do contributes back to the human collective consciousness. And then when souls incarnate, that then kind of slingshots them so far ahead because we were willing to do the work. It's kind of like Spirit is showing me how kids in elementary school now, you'd be like, dang, you're doing algebra in second grade? Yeah, like it's this huge slingshot of a jump. It's a big curve. Wow. And it's like, I don't know. It's like the collective consciousness coming full cycle because we've been doing all our homework, like crunching the numbers, Spirit said. Yeah. And it makes me think about how, and a lot of people talk about this, energetic intuitives, people who study psychology, quantum physics, channelers, readers, you name it. The message in the frequential realms is the same. Whoever is tapping into it is that, you have people that will be going through, for example, let's use the term a dark night of the soul. That maybe, in the 60s, that happened once in a lifetime. I don't know. I'm just picking an example, right? And now you have people that are going through this like twice in a year. You know what I mean? Talk about, so, hey, listen, Spirit is showing me a meme. You know the meme where it's like, yeah, so everybody's going to have to get cool about a lot of stuff like really quickly. But that's kind of like, it's not low key, it's high key. We've been doing that. I would definitely say since 2012, it's massively accelerated. Massively. But of course, I never want to discredit all the work that's been done since like the 60s by many. And then even before that to kind of lay the foundations of what we are leaping into now. Don't miss that. It's all coming back to me now. Now Spirit is showing me this meme that I saw where it was like, what was she talking about? Don't be shorting yourself because you're living your great grandmother's dream life right now. What are you going to do with that? It's something like this. You see, it's all coming back to me now, that the wind and the light. It's like the ancestors were just, they were sending all this stuff back to me. And it makes me think of like, how how the heart chakra, I always refer to it as is the gateway, you know, the solar gateway, the solar portals that are all within us now, because they can't be in the earth, because unfortunately, you know, they do be hijacking them. So it's like, hey, what if we put it on the inside of them? That way no one can take the gateways and portals of activation unless they give them freely. Yes? You know how we talk about breaking through the frequency fences? Yeah. I think Spirit is trying to prepare us for something here, because, you know, you can only put two and two together, honey. With all the AI and the 5G and, you know, so many things that can be done now just through understanding frequency and all these things. Woo! We're not going to put our tinfoil hat. Well, I mean, we stay in our tinfoil hats over here. It's super Aquarius land over here. But you get what I'm saying? Spirit's like, I'm going to need you to be beefing up. I'm going to need you to be working your intuitive, your channeling, your psychic, your energetic understanding of healings and modalities that, let us say, if you were in the forest with nothing and you needed to meditate and you needed to self-heal and you needed to hear from your spirit team very clearly, we're going to be honing those channels, because I'm hearing like the highway is very packed. And you don't always know the visitors that are drifting in your neck of the woods. Is something like this, Spirit is saying. But let me go back to this. It says, deep learning, the one cycle policy. Proposed by Leslie Smith, SuperConvergence allows models to reach peak accuracy in significantly fewer iterations. One cycle policy involves one cycle of increasing the learning rate to a high maximum value. Okay, I'm seeing like a high maximum value followed by a decrease to a low value. I'm seeing like when Neo got plugged in and he was like, you want to know Kung Fu? Okay, but it's something like this. This also has something about if we can go out. Okay, Spirit is just showing me like when you go out into the astrals or in a meditative or a dream space, you're able to connect with other multidimensionalities of self, spirit team guides, etc., frequencies. It is kind of like that. I mean, are you going to wake up after your meditation and do Kung Fu? No. The rate of what, Spirit? Okay, the rate of download is different than the rate of execution, like in the physical 3D. Does this make sense? I'm just channeling. It says regularization balance. Large learning rates act as a form of regularization to prevent underfitting other forms. Okay, that's getting really technical. Performance. One cycle policy often results in better generalization, higher final test accuracy. Okay, this has to do with like training, learning, downloading data into the mind. This says this term is also used in several other technical and socio-technical fields. Okay, and then, oh shoot, there's a book, Technology Convergence by Jamie Metzel. In a 2024 book, oh shoot, it's a book, you guys. It's a book called SuperConvergence. A futurist Jamie Metzel describes the radical transformation of society caused by simultaneous and accelerating revolutions in AI, genetics, and biotechnology. The convergence of timelines? Guys. Data center infrastructure. Superconvergence sometimes is used to describe the next generation of hyperconverged infrastructure, HCI, that integrates networking, storage, computing, virtualization, and management into a single platform. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of messages here. I'm just saying. Hold on, you guys. What is this? Because I also want to read this card to you. Spirit is showing me. This is what it sounds like when the doves cry. Okay, this is a article written on a blog. Ravi Mashru. In this blog post, we will take a look at superconvergence. Oh, he did a research paper. Keep increasing the learning rate until a really large value and then start decreasing again. Start training with a really small learn. Oh, it has to do with like how you give the data to either an AI brain or an actual person's brain to see how much magnitude of learning they can attain. Wow. The neural networks train much faster than usual. Okay, he's referring to Leslie Smith again with superconvergence. Oh, this is so interesting if you think about it in the realms of energy and spiritual lessons. I don't know why, but Spirit is really pressing down since 2012. Wasn't that the whole Mayan calendar thing, you guys? It has to do with having really high, intense, max learning cycles and then slowing down into a smaller cycle. That's very fascinating, you guys. Super convergence. Hold on, let me type one more thing. Super convergence in spiritual terms. I'm just curious. And see, what I'll do when I hear these words, it's just like a self-education process. My higher self and my spirit team is guiding me, right? And then I just take notes and I follow the trail and then I learn and they teach me, right? So, and it's not just sitting here chat GPTing, which is not what I'm doing, by the way. That's, we're not going to talk about that today, but love and light, you know, everyone has free will in their own way, but, it's more about like finding articles to really read and self-educate and then see where your mind takes you next. But this says in spiritual context, superconvergence or spiritual convergence refers to the alignment and merging of various forces, personal, divine, and universal, into a unified experience of transformation. Convergence is a spiritual symbol for unity and harmony. It represents a merging of diverse elements such as personal intentions and divine timing into a cohesive whole, like birthing a new timeline, right? The process fosters a deeper understanding of one's place in the interconnected web of life. Those webs of light was what I was seeing coming back to me. It's all coming back to me now. Okay. Okay, I'm just skimming through this article. The superconductor of spirituality. This concept views the human soul as a potential superconductor of divine grace. Just as physical superconductors allow energy to flow without resistance, spiritual superconductivity requires removing internal resistance like ego or lack of your own authenticity so divine energy can flow freely through a person. Remember when I was talking about the Tesla coils? Modern discussions often use the term to describe reunion of scientific data and ancient wisdom. Neuroscience and mindfulness studies on neuroplasticity and meditation show how internal spiritual practices physically are reshaping your brain. Yes, this is exactly what we're... Okay, fractal cosmos. The idea that branching patterns of neurons in the brain mirror the patterns of the cosmos. Exactly. This is literally what we be talking about, y'all. And then again, this article refers back to, well, of course it does, because that's the name of his book, Global and Evolutionary Superconvergence. Futurist Jamie Metzel's 2024 work, Superconvergence. It is primarily focused on AI, genetics, and biotechnology, but it does touch on spiritual and ethical superpower. He argues in this book that... Child, I'm going to have to read this book. You already know. And it's spelled Jamie. His last name is spelled Metzl. Jamie Metzel, Superconvergence. He argues that as technologies converge, this is what I was saying in the beginning before we even got here. Humanity must develop a collective value system to use these world-altering capabilities responsibly. Wow. Child, correct me if I'm wrong, but it would almost seem that we have been doing a big work because a big shift is coming and we are being prepared. We really could go way deeper into that. We really could, but I want to read you because Spirit is clearly showing me this card when I was channeling that song. This is what it sounds like when the dun, dun. So this is the card. Do you see the dove? It's the 3 of Swords. Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? Gave thee life and bid thee feed By the Stream and O'er the Mead by William Blake from Songs of Innocence and Experience. And by the way, I'm reading, this is written by Marie White. The Marielle Tarot is amazing. I can't say enough about it. Landscapes of the Abyss. Her art alone is absolutely amazing. All right. A descending dove, symbol of love, into the flesh he goes. He carries the arrows of the sun's light, of God's creative seminal light, through the clouds and through the air to earth, a wedding of heaven and earth. Little dove so gentle and pure, falling like an untainted snowflake, just as fleeting and delicate, virginal, melting on the fires of earth, covered by the predatory life forms, pouncing, eating, and consuming, imprisoned in their cells, bones, sinew, muscle, blood, nerves, flesh. Where did you come from, dove, and where do you want to go back to? Little dove, an eagle you will become. Stretch your wings and sharpen your talons, handsome and bold. Look at the curve of the earth. Find your two heads. Break free from your prison of flesh. Shed it like a winter coat in spring and break free from gravity. Y'all know we would stay singing that song. Right? Defying gravity. That's immediately what it makes me think of. That part talking about, I hope you're happy now that you're choosing this. I hope it brings you bliss. Dun, dun, dun. I really hope you get it and you don't live to regret it. Fly triumphant to heaven from whence you came, conquering hero, eagle. There's that exalted scorpionic frequency again. Eagle and man exalted. Really, all of the four fixed signs, the signs are here in this reading. Sorry, fly triumphant to heaven from whence you came, conquering hero, eagle and man exalted. Scorpio risen, experienced, knowing, intentional. A dove, the seed of stars. I had a dream once of swords and doves mating, and they became an eagle. Accept divine gifts and energy. Accept a divine soul, rays of light captured by the dove, brought to earth, divine sweet heartache. The agent that wounded your heart was a divine gift to begin with. Ooh, it gives me every time that I am called to read it. Every time. What does this say right here, you guys? Jamie Metzel's SuperConvergence, MIT Technology Review. Oh, it's a podcast episode. In this episode, Jeff Kavanaugh, global head of the Infosys Knowledge Institute, interviews Jamie Metzel, a futurist, geopolitical expert, and author of SuperConvergence. Metzel explores how rapid convergence of AI, genetics, and biotech, oh my gosh, it is so coded for Pluto and Aquarius, Uranus and Gemini. AI, genetics, and biotechs transforming industries, creating both immense opportunity and lots of existential risks. He emphasizes the need for governments, human AI collaboration, and value-driven leadership to harness the technologies for the best benefit of society. Their discussion highlights how business must adapt or risk obsolescence, particularly in healthcare, life science, and material. Okay, wow, so fancy. I'm going to get into that book for real because that's everywhere that I'm at right now. Wow. What is the convergence movement in Christianity? Okay, child, I'm going to read that on my own time. Lord, have mercy. I'm not surprised, though, with all the Sagittarius frequency that this type of message is coming through, right? And then again, I'm hearing in my mind, in my spirit, that Hopi prophecy that this could be a good time, because Uranus and Taurus still in retrograde is like, where do you get your water? Where do you get your food? Who is on this boat with you? Press off from the shores and be in the river. And this could be a good time. This is very interesting if you think of like a metaphor of the human subconscious, the psyche, the intuitive gifts, and all of these things developing at the same time as the juxtaposition of all this AI and technology and all these things, right? It's definitely something to think about. Whoa, I already knew when we were going to tap into SuperConvergence, but that's exciting for me because I will journal further on that too. And then I'm going to check out and see, this is how it goes. Now my higher self is leading me to see this book that I've never heard of before in my life, nor that man. So that's very fascinating. Perhaps cleansing in the sunlight because of the way that visual was in my dream space. Calling your power back to you. Light, cleansing, lighting candles. Oh, that was coming through too really big, wasn't it? Wow. Okay. Okay, Spirit. What can we close? We're going to close with the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle. I hope you sit with everything and consider your routines for the week, your meditative work, the 12th night, right? Those days leading up to the solstice. Are you making time to sit with your higher self and to sit out in nature? How's your spiritual hygiene routine? The Mars and Capricorn energy, once again, just to come back around to that, is great for this week as we work up towards that new moon in Sagittarius. Okay, wow. Thank you, Spirit. We just slid one right out there for us, okay? Oh, there's two, but I'm just taking the one on the top. What do we have? Listen, y'all know you see. Frost. Ice cold melting in time. A frozen glance at what lies behind, what lies ahead, and what lies within. And the chilling frost of thy undead. Ooh. Okay, guys, let's read about frost. And then we will leave it here for today. And I am going to tap into some more ancestral readings. Frost says, child, listen. It says divination and signs. Yes. Winter offers a multitude of ways to practice divination. Puddles, frozen lakes, and icicles are excellent surfaces for scrying and finding answers to your most burning questions. However, frost isn't the only place to look for signs. There are subtle cues everywhere for those who are in tune with the universe. Frost, this makes me think of the rune Isa. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Frost has come into your spread to let you know that the signs you've been looking for are, oh, the spirits are all around you, child. What is that, Grandmother Willow? The signs you've been looking for are all around you. You are guided to have more awareness and to trust in your ability to read the signs. Everyone is capable of being guided by the inner spirit, but you block these capabilities when you doubt little pings of wisdom that occur. See, this can also be a reiteration. This is going to go a little bit long, but child, look, here we are. This is how it's been, and I appreciate all of you guys. If you feel called to really sit in this space, and I love when you guys message me or you comment here and you tell me the different things that are confirmed and affirmed, and I love that we share this space together. I know what happens a lot in the algorithms of YouTube and whatnot is that, like, you know, somebody's just going to be hopping on to try to fit an algorithm or to throw some cards on the table or kind of do the spiritual tea gossip. And that's not what it is over here, child. It ain't never about to be. I mean, I am open to personal readings, but it's never going to be that over here. We're letting spirit speak and channel. We're learning together. We're going deeper together. So, you know, here we are. It's not never going to be, no, let me just pop in for 10 minutes and throw some cards onto. We don't do that over here at Love and Light. Okay? Listen. But you block these capabilities when you doubt little pings of wisdom that occur. If you see a butterfly and believe it to be a sign, then it is. I'm hearing mariposa. That's a sign of ancestral spirits, right? For some. The same goes for colors or words you hear throughout the day. Don't discredit yourself. And that goes back to, are you tapping into your dream space? Are you doing some automatic writing? Or sometimes if you're using divination or receiving signs from the Davic nature spirits of the earth, the fae, the animals, which are all sentient beings and an extension, in fact, of yourself. Yes. Write those down. Affirm your path to yourself and open up that channel to strengthen those muscles, right? Spirit said, because you're going to need it. Okay, child. Don't discredit yourself by ignoring things that feel like confirmation to you. They may seem silly to others. Who gives a fuck? Okay? Like, they may seem silly to others, and that's okay. You're an illuminated soul. That's why you're here, family. You are an illuminated soul, and you are guided by a force that transcends any lack of faith. Yes. Yes. Yeah, you know what? That's it, you guys. I think I'm going to leave it here. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Call upon that Mars and Capricorn frequency. Don't forget that Uranus in Taurus is retrograde, but it's in your corner and it's helping you, okay? And do the work that you know you need to do and hold space. Take good care of yourself this week as we continue to work towards the new moon in Sagittarius, okay? So I love you guys. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Take good care, all right? Bye.